E amigos, estamos de volta e gostamos de dar a conhecer à nossa comunidade os talentos que cá estão. Temos connosco esta noite um senhor que já venceu um prémio IPMA devido à sua qualidade como músico e DJ. Esta noite vem falar um pouco sobre o facto de ser português e ser criado português, mas também sobre a sua carreira musical. Senhoras e senhores, é artisticamente conhecido como Sir Matty V. Vamos apresentar Matty Varão. Sir Matty, welcome to HORA Quente. Falas um bocadinho de português, não é?
Falo só um bocadinho.
Um bocadinho? Não está mal, não está mal. Muito bem. Matt, a música sempre fez parte da tua vida?
Sempre. Meu pai tocou no Our Lady of Light Band quando ele era magrinho. 10, 11 anos estava tocando guitarra, drums,
Estás a ver? Falas bem. Falas bem. Nada disso. So Matt, did you ever play in one of the local Portuguese bands, or?
I did not.
You did not.
Like I said, I picked up guitar, bass guitar when I was younger. Started songwriting a little bit, just playing covers of songs, and actually started playing. I lived next door to George Ferreira, so his son Jordan and I actually started playing together, and we had a small band, did a couple of gigs with him, and
Excellent.
that was kind of what started everything pretty much.
What was the band?
We were called Shattered Identity.
Shattered Identity.
Yeah, we were young. We were 13, 14 at the time. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Sort of set the foundation for what ended up becoming a big part of my musical career now.
Absolutely. How would you describe yourself as an artist? I mean, I introduced you as a musician, DJ as well, but how do you identify yourself as an artist?
It's interesting. So I actually never really thought about getting into DJing until about 7 years ago. I always liked to write music. And I was always, learning songs on my guitar, writing songs, things like that. And then it was in college when I was at Roger Williams, I started toying around. I started getting into a little more of electronic music. Started toying around with software that, I just kind of got online and watching YouTube tutorials about how to, write electronic music. That sort of developed into, a few small remixes and, different songs that I started to send out to different labels, different music blogs at the time. And one thing led to another, and it became evident pretty quickly that if you weren't DJing and making electronic music, you were kind of making a mistake. Those two, they kind of went hand in hand. Both for a promotional aspect as well as kind of like the business end of it, if you will. So that's what kind of the production sort of segued into the DJing, if you will.
Now, I mean, you have a great musical background before DJing, but nowadays DJs have become more relevant than ever. Back in the day, a DJ would be somebody who would play music at some sort of event. Now, although you do play music at events, you're talking about original mixes. You're talking about, in your case, being an accomplished musician, having the ability to create your own music and not just mixes. So. Why do you think that big burst for DJs in this current generation?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I couldn't pinpoint one specific thing. I think, people started to get, more in touch with the type of music. I mean, if you roll back to 2010, 2011, when you look at someone like the group like Swedish House Mafia, they sort of helped lay the foundation for crossover hits where it was dance music, but it was on commercial radio. You know what I mean? Someone like them, even like Steve Aoki, early on, had that the song on, oh my God, what was that movie there? The House Party movie there. He had a record on there, and it's sort of, you started to see more dance music and electronic music cross into pop culture, into commercial radio, and I think that's what sort of sparked the interest in a lot of listeners out here. I mean, it's been, house music and dance music has been big in Europe for decades now, and there was a good dance music scene in America. In the 90s you had that sort of underground rave scene, but it was very much a niche audience. And I think in the last decade or so it's really broadened a bit, and sort of given these DJs who kind of started out like I did as a producer who wanted to make electronic music, but also with crossover elements of pop music. It sort of gave them an outlet to create a brand and push their DJ brand and push their music out to the world a little more because the audience was there.
What are some places that you've performed at already?
I do Providence and Boston pretty regularly. You can find me at a variety of different clubs over there. I'll be at Royale in Boston in a few weeks. I was just at Icon up in Boston. Providence, there's a small spot called Hanley's that I'll play at. Also been fortunate enough to travel to New York, out west to LA and San Francisco. Last year I was able to play Burning Man Music Festival out in the desert of Nevada, which was an experience for sure. So I've been really fortunate just with the people that I've met. I've had really good luck with the types of people that I've been able to work with, write music with, that have put me in touch with other good people in the industry, and just been very fortunate in that regard to be able to travel and make a part of my living with what I love to do.
There's an image here. We have some images of a mega performance that you had. I'll let you take a look at this. So what was going on here? Where was this?
This was actually at Monmouth University. This was a few years back. I was playing with this crew called Groove Boston, and they do large-scale electronic concerts at different colleges across America. So this was one in New York that I had done with them at Monmouth University, and as you see, it was pretty packed. It was such a fun time. I can't speak highly enough about those guys, and we still keep in touch with some of them. Their visual guy Jay actually does stuff for Steve Aoki now. He's absolutely killing it. So just a great group of guys. I was really fortunate to work with them, and it's fun. It's fun to get out there and you see a bunch of people sort of vibing with the type of music that you're playing, and it sounds kind of cliche, but you definitely do feel a connection with them. It's like you're kind of setting the tempo and the pulse of the whole room when you play in a venue that big, and it's intoxicating. It's a lot of fun.
So at an event like that, what does a performance of yours consist of? Mostly original productions, or do you mix hits, current pop hits? How does that work? And I apologize for my ignorance, but that's what I'm asking.
No, it's no worries at all. It's a variety. You definitely, as someone who makes their own music, obviously you want to showcase some of the things that you've made, whether it's original music, whether it's remixes of other artists that you've done. But you definitely, at the same time, want to play stuff that's familiar to the crowd. There's certain periods throughout the night, for example, if you're playing for 4 hours straight, if you're playing stuff that the crowd may not be as familiar with, you're going to lose a lot of energy out of that room. Whereas if you find a good balance of stuff they're familiar with, mixed tastefully with the things that you like, some high energy stuff or even down tempo stuff depending on the crowd, that's when you start to really see a great reaction within the crowd and see them really responding well with what you're doing up there.
So basically your show is designed based on the reaction you're getting from the crowd at that particular time.
Oh, big time.
So that's the difference between being in a band where you have your set and that's basically what you're going to do. So there you have the liberty to be very artistic within what the audience is looking for, right?
Oh, definitely. And every DJ has some go-tos that whether it's like a string of a few songs that they know always works well or mixes well together and whatnot. It's kind of they always kind of have them in their holster for certain points in the night that they know it'll always set the night off well at. But other than that, it's a lot of crowd reading. You have to gauge the energy. If you go. If you're in the middle of a dance track and you feel the energy kind of dip a little bit and you mix to a hip hop track or something like that and you see the energy go up a little more, then you kind of get a feel, hey, let me stick with this vibe for a little bit, then work back this way. And you have to kind of map out the night depending on what kind of night everyone else is having. At the end of the day, you're up there to make everyone else enjoy their night. So if you're not doing that, you're doing a disservice and you never get booked again, which is awful.
Absolutely. So Matt, how connected are you to your Portuguese roots?
I'd say pretty connected. My vovô and vovô lived next door to me since I was probably 3 or 4. Then my other vovô actually lived down the street from me, same street in Westport. So pretty well connected. Every day when I was in grade school, I would spend a lot of time next door with them. So very, very well connected.
So were your parents born here?
Both my parents were born out in San Miguel.
In San Miguel.
Yes.
What part of San Miguel?
They were in Rabipish and Lagoa.
Very good. So you're first generation Portuguese American.
I am.
Very good. So Matt, when was it that you won the award for the IPMA for Best Instrumental, correct? Or Best Dance?
Yeah, it was Best Dance.
Best Dance.
Yeah.
And this was this past year?
This past year and 2015.
So how did you hear about the IPMA in order to submit your music?
I forget exactly where I heard about it first. I want to say, honestly, I saw someone post something about it on Facebook, and then I just kind of followed the link, checked it out, and then I saw, I can submit my music, why not give it a shot? And at the time, the first year, 2015, it was a collaboration I did with a good friend of mine, Steve Melnick in New York. And I mean, I sent it out, and to be honest, kind of forgot about it. I was like, let's just see what happens. And then when I got the email back saying that we were nominated, I was like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. I called up Steve right away. I was like, you're not gonna believe this. So we were pretty hyped. It was awesome, and it was cool just to be there, be around a bunch of other Portuguese musicians and artists, and just the whole experience was really cool. You were great too.
Oh, thanks.
I will say.
Now, Matt, how have you ever let your Portuguese roots influence anything in the music that you produce?
So sadly, no. I'll be honest. Like, I haven't really found a certain track or a certain avenue yet where I could really kind of let that shine. I would love to, because there is a big a big Portuguese and even sort of Brazilian influence in certain sects of electronic music. And I would love to kind of tap into that. It's just, I'll start one project and then that'll escalate, be ready for release, and, someone else will hit me up and be like, hey, like, let's do this. And, things just snowball so rapidly when, especially for someone who, I'm on a limited time week by week, like, I'm no, huge touring DJ, so I'm trying to crunch the amount of hours that I have throughout the week to make my music. So one thing gets going, one thing after another, and I definitely would like to utilize it and sort of pay homage, I guess you will, to my Portuguese roots. Just haven't gotten the opportunity for it yet.
Now, Matt, is this the road you want to continue as far as being a DJ, or do you want to go back into the actual band and performing, that type of performing aspect?
Man, if I had time, I would love to do both. Being a DJ is great. The energy from the crowd that you feel, and just being able to get out there and see tons of people enjoy what you're doing is great. But being in a band and having that harmony with your bandmates and just kind of when you're feeling, I played bass when we were traveling around and whatnot. So myself and the drummer, you kind of naturally have that connection, that groove. So it's just it's different. It's a very different feeling. And I would love to go back if I had the time to, fire something up with a full band, or even, something that I've been working on the past couple of years is try to incorporate more live performance in my DJ set. I sort of demoed that on New Year's Eve this past year in Boston, where, I played a little keyboard live, I had an electronic drum station set up, and had like certain cues set up where I would actually play out different instruments, and it got a cool response, but you are limited. I mean, I only got two hands up there. And so you're a little limited, but it is something that I would love to further. Outside of that, like outside of the band and DJing, I would love to actually score music for movies. That's something that I've thought about for a long time. Just sort of, I've always been fascinated at watching films and how if you're in a really tense moment, the type of music that's embedded in the film just sets the complete tone. So that's something else I'd love to get into as well.
Very good. If somebody wants to listen to your music other than going to your performances, how can they go about that? Online, iTunes, do you have tracks up there?
Yeah. So we actually, I just put one out on Friday, actually. It's a remix for my good friend Modern Machines in New York. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud. I actually curate a playlist on Spotify as well called Essentials Only. So if you just go to Spotify and type in Sir Matty V, my artist page will come up. The playlist page will come up, and you can find tons of my music on there, music from my producer friends, and other artists that I listen to that kind of influences me. So anywhere online, pretty much
Excellent.
all the digital outlets.
Very good. And people can like you on Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
all of social media.
Facebook, Instagram,
Sir
Twitter.
Matty V, check him out. Alguém português a fazer algo fantástico, a mostrar o seu talento para outros grupos e, como viram nas imagens, realmente com muito sucesso, a pôr um salão inteiro cheio de pessoas a vibrar com a sua música. Portanto, estás de parabéns, Matt. Embora não fizemos aqui a entrevista em português, a tua avó de repente vai-te puxar a orelha. Oh, Matt! Very good. Matt, muito obrigado e muito sucesso para ti, sempre, sempre.
Yeah, obrigado.
E sempre que haja uma novidade, passa por cá para apresentar, está
Absolutely.
bem? Senhoras e senhores, foi Sir Matty V. Chegamos ao final de mais uma Hora Quente. Foi um prazer estar em sua companhia. Voltaremos amanhã com mais um programa para si. Boa noite e até amanhã, se Deus quiser. Tchau, tchau.